So, in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Sydney Bank's Enlightenment experience, people who have been impacted by the three principles understanding are sharing their insights and their stories of transformation. So, welcome Sharon Castle, a three principles transformational coach from South Africa.
Hi, nice to be here.
So, Sharon, could you briefly share what your life looked like before you had your first insight into the three principles?
Well, that's so easy to describe. It was chasing the dream, driving, striving, more, bigger, better, the struggle, constantly overwhelmed, stressed, wanting to grow something, to make an impact, to make a difference. And I've been in the personal development industry for 39 years, so it's a long time. And for the past 14 years, I've been coaching people. And for the last 7 years, I have been nearly 8 years just working with the principles. So I understand what it means to come from a position of, this is so hard and we've got to work so many hours a day and it's such a struggle, and the stress factor was enormous for me, and I remember it well.
So what was your insight?
Well, the insight was that it doesn't have to be a struggle. The words that I heard was, we are not broken. And for me, coming from a very dysfunctional family, like a lot of people on the planet are, I just thought I needed external help. I needed people to tell me, to guide me, to show me the way. I never, ever thought that I had any wisdom. So my search was constantly about looking for people that could help me and guide me. And of course, that's really good. But the position that I was coming from was they have all the answers and I have none. And so you never end. It's just a constant search. We're just trying to find who has got the right formula, the right tool, the right technique. And of course, you go in and out of all of those, and then you go back to the search. Surely it can't be this. Surely it's got to be better than this. And there was this just unbelievable discomfort about life, and always wondering, is it ever going to get any better than this, and wanting to help people, obviously, as a seeker and someone who's looking for answers, that's what we want to do. We want to make a difference. We want to try and help people. So really my insight was, I am not broken.
Oh, I love that. So since you've seen that, how's your life changed and your practice changed since this insight and gaining this 3P understanding?
Oh, dramatically. I hardly recognize myself. The way that I operate is just so entirely different. Every time I catch myself feeling like I'm stressing and struggling and chasing, which I do every now and again because I tend to fall asleep. And then I wake up to the fact like it's not that hard. And the more silent I get, it's literally like I can shut up and listen. And I've done that over time, and it's now become kind of like second nature. Do I get triggered? Of course I do, all the time. But I tend to kind of bounce back from that a lot faster. And so I notice it a lot easier. And so it doesn't feel like a big stretch every single time. But honestly, over the last 7 and a bit years, I've seen how that is just progressed and progressed and progressed. And I say the word progress, but really it's really going back to who I was, before all my thinking contaminated the purity of who we are, the way we're born, the core of our being. And really, I've been on a bit of a mission of late. In South Africa, we have some issues. I'm sure they are all over the world. And I really wanted to make an impact and to help people understand the human psyche. And so, I started a little coaching academy almost 3 years ago because I didn't have enough hours in the day. There were just so many people needing help. And I thought, wow, I need more of me. So that's what I did. And it was work, but it was a joyful work. It was so wonderful to have these people who were also called. I feel that there's like a calling that we are asked, to show up in this different way. And so I had been working in my community for, nearly 14 years, and people had seen something. And then I really wanted to kind of pass on the baton. I'm we all sort of getting on, and I've been in this work for so long, and I had a group of young people, and so just creating more transformational coaches working only with the 3 principles has given me so much more. The simplicity, the purity of the principles, I just keep going back to them when I find myself, a little bit out of it. I just get back there very, very quickly. And there's a responsibility, and it's quite nice to know that when I stick to it, I give more than when I veer off of it. So there's that up and down. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, but I notice so quickly. And in the last nearly 3 years since I started the academy, we have graduated like 20 coaches, which is wonderful because we need more. And so there's constant call to action to people to say, come on, just even if you make a difference in your community, in your home, in your business, with your relationships, once that starts, we all know there's this kind of little ripple effect. And so everyone gets impacted, and everybody has an opportunity with that invitation to be them, to be themselves, to be more of who they are. So, yeah, I think that I have changed my practice so much. I used to do all kinds of tools and techniques. How many of us did that when we first became coaches, because we thought it was all about, if it is to be, it's up to me kind of thing. And that is completely changed. And I'm very grateful for the principles, really, truly grateful. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I am just in awe of how easily people are impacted once they listen, because that's the key, the deep listening, allowing yourself to be still and quiet enough to listen.
Oh, it's beautiful. And you've already started to answer elements of my last question, which I love. And it's, how do you see this understanding changing the field of mental health and our understanding of the human spirit?
Oh, it's exciting. I find it so very, very exciting. I've got a little nonprofit called Wings of Hope, and we have been going into the rural communities to teach them about this. And these social workers and, psychologists and psychotherapists and educators and even police people have been in these workshops that we've been conducting. And when we say certain things, I'm so used to saying them, and you see, the glistening of their eyes and the impact that it's making, I get excited. And I often use the word psychological fitness. I think it was one of the Pranskys that said that. I love that word. I love that we can actually be more in tune and fitter mentally, so that our emotional resilience is also stronger. So, that's what I see. I see us getting into communities online, wherever we're going to do it, and just giving the purity of the principles to people, knowing full well that that's enough, and then pointing them back to themselves and pointing them to this, the work of Sydney Banks and the books. How lovely it is to have these resources. It really is a privilege. So I see the whole world of psychology shifting, because we, as transformational life coaches, are working with these people. And, one of them said to us a lovely story. She said, are you telling me that all this time I've asked people to tell me about their stories, and, it's not right? I said, is it working? She said, well, no. I said, I rest my case.
I love that. Your energy is infectious. It really is. And I loved, that your insight was, that you truly are not broken, and this real calling to show up. That feels really obvious to me talking to you. So thank you for participating in this 50th anniversary project.
Thank you. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.